The Incredible Life of Queen Esther, a story of courage and faith. Queen Esther, a young Jewish girl living in Persia, is a beloved figure in Jewish and Christianity history. She's widely known for her courage and faith in the face of danger, and her story is a source of inspiration for a lot of people. Queen Esther bravely risked her own life to save her people from a terrible fate, and her courage and faith are an example for us all. It is a story of great courage, faith, and resilience in the face of adversity. Queen Esther's life provides an example of how faith can help us in times of danger and challenge. Her story is an incredible testament to the power of faith and courage in the face of danger, and it's an inspiration to us all. The background of her story. The events of the Book of Esther took place during the reign of Xerxes I, king of Persia. The story takes place during a time of war between the Persians and the Babylonians. The events of the Book of Esther took place in the city of Susa. At the time, Susa was the capital of the Persian Empire. The Book of Esther does not give an exact date for when it took place, but it is believed to be in the mid-5th century BCE. The danger Queen Esther faced and her courage and faith. Queen Esther, who was originally named Hadassah, was born in the city of Susa. When she was a young girl, the Persian king Xerxes chose her to be the next queen of his country. Esther was one of many women chosen to be a potential bride for the king. She was taken to the royal palace in the city of Shushan and placed under the care of the king's wife, Vashti. Esther had a very difficult upbringing. She was an orphan who was adopted by her uncle Mordecai. Her uncle was a Jew who lived in the Persian Empire and was very wise and righteous. She grew up in the shadow of her uncle's extreme faith in God and his vision that one day the Jewish king would rule Persia. How she risked her life to save her people. The Book of Esther does not tell us how long Queen Esther was in the royal palace or how she became queen. It also does not say how long she had been married to the king or how old she was when she became queen. When the story begins, the king is holding a very special festival. The king wanted to show off the splendor of his kingdom and the richness of his people. He had invited many of the kings from the many lands under his rule to join him. The story says that during this festival, two of the king's advisors saw a man who was not wearing the proper attire and told the king that he was violating the king's law. The king told them to find out who the man was and why he was not wearing the proper attire. The king's advisors found out that the man was one of the king's subjects. They also found out that the man's name was Mordecai, who was a Jew. The king's advisors told the king that the law required Jews to bow down and worship a man called Haman, who was the king's right hand, but they could only bow down and worship him on a certain day. The king's advisors also told him that the Jews did not bow down and worship Haman on that day because they did not honor the king. The impact of her decision. When the king heard about this, he became very angry. He ordered that Jews be killed and that Mordecai be put to death. When Queen Esther heard about the king's decision, she knew that her Jewish relatives were in grave danger. When she learned that Mordecai's life was in danger, she decided to take action. She went to the king and asked him to spare her uncle's life. The king asked her why she, a Jew, was so concerned about a man who was not a Jew. She told the king that she was not just a Jew, but also his wife. Esther, with all of her courage, told the king that she was also a Jew. The legacy of Queen Esther. The king was very surprised when Queen Esther told him that she was a Jew. He was even more surprised when she asked him to spare the lives of all Jews under his rule. The king was very angry with Queen Esther. He told her that he would have killed all the Jews in his kingdom if he had known that she was a Jew. He also told her that he would kill her and her uncle. Queen Esther did not back down. She told the king that if he killed her, he would lose a queen who would rule his kingdom well. If he killed her uncle, he would lose a man who had always been loyal to him. If the king killed them, he would lose the favor of God. The king asked Queen Esther what he should do to keep the favor of God. She told him to spare the lives of all the Jews in his kingdom and to kill Haman. The king agreed to spare the Jews and kill his advisor, Haman. An example of how our faith can help us in times of danger and challenge. The Book of Esther is a very important book in the religious history of Judaism. It is the only book of the Bible that does not mention God by name. The story of Queen Esther shows us what can happen when we put our faith in God. Many people believe that the story of Queen Esther was written to show us that God is present in times of danger and challenge. It shows us how our faith can help us in times of danger and challenge. Esther's story is an example of how our faith can help us in times of danger and challenge. When we put our faith in God and ask Him to help us, He will always come to our aid. Queen Esther showed us how our faith can help us in times of danger and challenge. It can give us courage and faith to do what is right. It can give us the strength we need to stand up for ourselves and others. The story of Queen Esther is an example of how faith can help us in times of danger and challenge. Thanks for watching this video. We know you definitely enjoyed this one. Give this video a like and share it with your friends so they can learn. If you have been entertained by this video, then there's more where it came from. Subscribe to the channel to find other expository videos like this one, and you'll be amazed at the things you didn't know. See you on the next video. Cheers.